welcome, Bart.
Hey, what's up, Darth? How you doing? Tony, what's going on?
I'm
What's up?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, hey, Bart. I'm familiar with
Doing all
Bart.
right?
This is going to be interesting. I'm familiar with him. I've debated him before. This is going to be an interesting interaction to see how long
Wait,
you get
Tony,
to stay up here, Bart.
can I ask you to say atheism is not great? Just kidding.
Uh, yeah.
Great.
All right. How's it going, Darth? Yeah, what's good?
I
Yeah.
brought you up here. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, like my position is that I'm not really seeing the necessity of like the tag conclusion. Like you can just hold some sort of intuitive grounding, intuitive primitives, like whether it's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
this is pathetic. You're not even understanding the tag when you respond that way.
Okay,
Okay,
I mean, let me know
so
where I went wrong.
if you don't accept the tag, okay, in all likelihood you're not accepting P1, right?
Yeah, the standard one of
Right, good.
preconditioned eligibility.
So not accepting of it is a functional denial. So that means that you're operating in principle that something else is the ground of being that provides for all actuality, truth, reason, and intelligibility. What's the something else?
Don't know.
Well, then you denying P1 is a performative contradiction. In other words,
I don't see it.
it's a denial without the background information needed to have the ability to affirm and deny things. So
Yeah,
you
but
see,
once
when tag is correctly represented and when tag is correctly understood, it's foolproof because the due to the impossibility of the rational denial of P1 that the self-revealing God and his attributes said is the necessary precondition for all actuality, truth, reason, and intelligibility. So the denial of P1 is rationally impossible.
Well, Darth, I mean, they don't call it
So you
presuppositionalism for
said
nothing.
that it's false because of I don't know.
I didn't hear what you said, Bart.
I said, like, to me, it just sounds, this is, obviously one of the biggest contentions people have with tag is that it's basically
You're
begging the
not.
question.
The biggest problem I have is people like you and others. Number one, don't have a sufficient grasp on tag, and number two, you ignore when it is cashed out. When we have to show you that to not accept P1 is to deny P1. So do you understand that before I move on?
Sorry about that. When you say deny, do you mean affirming the negation?
Yeah, you're negating by not accepting P1, you're denying it.
Yeah, but there's like a little ambiguity. When I say deny, I could say I just
No,
don't
sir,
accept it.
no. Okay, yeah, well, that would either you being deceptive or you speaking ignorantly. To not accept that God, the mind of God, is the ultimate precondition of all states of affairs, is to be operating in principle that something else is.
If
So
somebody says,
you don't listen to
uh,
me.
I'm listening.
You don't have the luxury to foist incredulity toward P1 because the non-acceptance of P1, regardless of how it is verbalized, is the denial of P1. Now, if you
Yeah.
want to try to debate that it's not the denial of P1, I'm prepared to have that conversation.
Well, sure. Yeah. But the usual response I get to that is like if somebody says like,
Is your non-acceptance of P1 the denial of P1?
Darth, I'm answering you. Can you just give me 10 seconds? Literally 10 seconds. If somebody asks
I
me,
want you to answer the question. Is your non-acceptance of P1, does it constitute either the direct or the indirect denial of P1?
you mean affirming the negation? I'm not affirming the negative.
Okay, so but you see, you can't have neutrality toward P1. There's no neutrality.
Well, I'm just not. If somebody says there's a cookie in the
sir,
cupboard,
listen to me.
you know?
P1 is all inclusive. It's exhaustive. It's the necessary precondition, not to accept that God, the self-revealing God, is the necessary precondition of all things. To not accept that is to then predicate without reference to P1. Are you predicating without reference to P1?
Yes, but I'm not affirming the negation.
Then predicating without P1 is the denial of P1. Because you're predicating.
There. I'm just not saying why I would accept it.
Are you predicating without God?
Cookie could be in the cupboard. I'm just not convinced the cookie is in the cupboard.
Okay. You're being a little deceitful little person at this point, like most atheists are.
You sit on a throne of lies.
I'm not an atheist.
When you do not accept P1, are you predicating without P1?
I don't know. I'm just not accepting it.
Bye. You just proved yourself a liar. Yeah. When they say, I don't know, that's a lie.
You liar!
He outright was lying. And you see, when they don't want to be honest, they go, I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
You know, when the guy's wife says, why is there lipstick on your collar? Why does your shirt smell of a woman's perfume? I don't know how that got there. You see, this is what happens. TikTok is a cesspool, and people think that they can come up here and act like pond scum. I'm not putting up with it.
Yep.
Right? You can disagree with me intelligently, but if you act like pond scum, I'm going to treat you like pond scum.